fatherhood, the longing that song exemplifies, brings to the forefront. The line that always gets me is, I'll make a million mistakes. And I know I already have in my short time as a parent. And when I realize that too, I can look at my father and my father's father and my mother's father and know, yeah, we all made a million mistakes. And it's all okay. It's all okay. You know, there are as many ways to be a father as there are people on the planet, right? Each and every one of us has had to be father and mother, son and daughter, and everything in between to so many beings on the planet, children and animals, right? That idea of fatherhood is something that is bigger than ourselves, right? I have only been legally a father for 4 years. This will be my 5th year going into being a father, but that wasn't the first time I was parenting. It wasn't the first time I was exhibiting the traits and the necessity to be a parent. My favorite thing in the world was to be a gunkle, gay uncle, for those of you who don't know what that is, right? Because that was so much fun. And when my nephew Connor, who you met a couple weeks ago when we christened Joshua here, came to live with me at 11 and then 12 and 13, he fully moved in, there was an opportunity to parent that shaped who I am. My second date with my husband, JD, was with Connor. So we had a first date, and I said to him, so if you want to date me, here's the deal. I have a kid now. And so we went and saw Superman. The movie was our second date together. And so it was just a life change. And fatherhood isn't about biology. I'm still not biologically a parent, but I'm a parent. So it has nothing to do whether you reproduce. It's about something inside of you. Fatherhood is an aspect of your being that you take on and that you rise to the occasion for. For those of you who don't know, the first child JD and I took on was a 16-year-old boy. We were struggling to become parents, trying to figure out how that was going to work in our lives and at our ages. And we said, well, there are 40,000 kids in foster care in California alone. So it's 40,000 children right this minute without a permanent home, without a forever family, right? And so we went down to the social worker's office, and they presented binders full of paperwork for kids for us to look at. And as I turned the pages, overwhelmed by everything I was seeing and reading, this one kid jumped off the page at us, and I had no intention of adopting a teenager. I'm not that crazy. But he wouldn't stay on the page. He wouldn't leave our minds alone. And so we went through the process of wanting to get to be introduced to him. And his social workers said, no, we won't introduce you to him, because he's been through so much and so much heartache in the 8 years he's been in foster care that we don't think he can take another one. So until you're ready to commit fully, we won't introduce you to him. And we thought about it, well, how can you possibly do that? Commit to a child without ever meeting them. And then I thought, well, that's every parent's story. Right? It's like, you are not in control of the child that arrives at your doorstep, right? Nothing personal, kids, okay? But we are all born fully with a personality, fully as we are. And as you watch children and think about your own life, you know that, right? So, long story, we read Tobias's very thick file, and they talked to us about everything he had been through, and we said yes. we're all in. We will parent him no matter what. And so he came into our life, and everything that entailed has proceeded for the last 4 years with all teenagers, and then a teenager who has been through a hell of a lot. He has biological parents. They are still here on the planet, but they are not part of his life. We are his parents, and it has been a process of becoming parents that has led me to this moment in my life. In December, JD and I got the best Father's Day present a parent could ever have. And it was a Facebook post, being the generation that he is. He only uses Facebook when he wants to communicate to us. Otherwise, it's on Snapchat and Instagram. But Facebook is for his parents because of how old we are. And it says, I've been alive for 7,355 days, or 1,051 weeks, which is 242 months, and that means I'm 20 years old. 20 is a big number that I thought I would never make it to. I figured I would be a statistic, or end up in jail, or in the ground. God had a different plan for me, though. 1,152 days ago, the path to a successful future was paved. 216 weeks of unconditional love and support, dang near 50 months of constant commitment, and 4 years of experiences that have changed the person I once was. I don't usually get sentimental, but today I give thanks for my 2 wonderful dads who put their lives aside to help me better live my life, and for others. Not just me, but my 2 siblings and I, and tons of people they've reached, dare I say millions, plus the lives they will continue to change. It takes a pure heart to make positive change, but with these 2 in my life, negativity was never an option. Thank you, dads, for preparing me for life and giving me the best chance of surviving this whole adult thing. Here's to the many adventures we are yet to go on. I remember distinctly at his 18th birthday party, we had a party at the house, and his CASA worker, childhood advocate that he had been appointed by the courts when he was 8 years old, had been with him the whole time, was at our house. And she said, how did you do it? You 2 are a miracle. You know, everyone else has given up on this kid. And I said, oh, it was easy. Neither one of us was ready to give up on him at the same time. And literally, that's what it was. When one of us was done, the other one had some reserve left to step up. And that's what I mean, is that parenthood is not about biology. Biology does not make you a parent. It's about responsibility and ownership, right? It's about choosing to take responsibility for something and knowing that it's yours. So whether it is a child, whether it is an animal, whether it is a community, whether it is a mission, whether it's a company, that's how you parent something, right? That's how you shape the world to make it what you want it to be, by stepping up and saying, I am responsible for this. I take ownership of this situation, of this community, of this idea. And you shepherd it, and you stay with it as everything changes around you and underneath your feet, and the bottom falls out, and everything disappoints you, and you still say, this is mine to do. It's about a commitment that is unwavering. And any 2 teenagers, as one of our friends once told us, in the back seat of a car can make a baby. Parenting one, parenting a company, parenting an organization, parenting a rescue dog or an animal is a commitment that is much bigger. It's about stepping up to fully and totally who you are. Responsibility and ownership are what make a father. It has nothing to do with gender, right? Parenthood Fatherhood, Father's Day, let's face it, and Mother's Day are Hallmark holidays, right? Created by Hallmark, because every day is Parents' Day, as we know, right? Every day is the day we should be honoring our parents who came before us, or honoring the parent we have had, whether they are our biological parents or not. And it's certainly not gender specific. Roma, because of her interactions at school and in other places in her life, knows all about mothers, although she doesn't have a mother in the house raising her, right? And she still will ask for mommy. And I have no problem being mommy when she needs one. And she's really clear. She really understands when she wants a mommy, she wants to be comforted, because that's what she reads and that's what she sees. And I don't take it personal. It's not about my masculinity to mother her. And it's not about any woman's masculinity to father a child. It's about the energy of responsibility, about the energy of commitment and steadfastness and strength. Yeah, strength is a non-gender attribute. But those things that we all are, we bring forward as needed in any situation. The most remarkable people in our country, as we just heard sung, Alexander Hamilton and Aaron Burr, were parentless, both orphaned. But they had father figures. They experienced fatherhood in another way. And one thing that cuts across all of it is that it's not biology that makes a parent. It is love that makes you a parent. Right? It's your willingness to keep extending love without fail, to keep bringing in love. So many of you share love to your family, right? That may be nieces and nephews, it might be extended family, cousins, doesn't matter. You keep extending the love, grandkids, great-grandkids, adopted children, without fail. Love is what makes you a parent. So how many of you have loved a child that was not yours, that was only in your house for a moment, right? You're a sponsor of a child that comes and seems to go. But the love stays. The love will never be forgotten. Right? The love of others makes you a parent. Right? So it doesn't have to be your family. It doesn't have to be your kin. It can be the children on the planet. This is a demonstration of parenting. When others can't, we provide for what's needed for each and every child. The love of others leads us to create organizations that support children. The whole idea of CASA, court-appointed special advocate for kids in foster care, is about loving others, about giving your time to be the advocate for children who are not yours. So if you can't be a foster parent, can you be an advocate for them? Can you be the one solid thing in their life? Elaine, one of our board members, worked for an organization, and now continues to volunteer and work for them, called FLY, Fresh Lifelines for Youth, which interjects a mentor into a child's life just when they're entering the juvenile justice system. And that interjection of love for someone else and by someone else changes the trajectory of these children's lives. There are myriad ways to be a parent, to be a father. Love of life itself. Right? If you've ever experienced a child like Joshua, our youngest, born with major health complications, but in him you can see the longing for life itself, the struggle, the joy, the peace, and that energy of just knowing that there's more ahead. And no matter what we are all going through, that there is something more on the other side. Right on the other side of this obstacle, this pain, this struggle, lies something greater. And that's what we're here for, is to overcome, to transcend, and to be the presence that needs to be shared here in the world. And most importantly, love of self. So if your parent, your father, wasn't the one you dreamed of, wasn't the one you expected, wasn't what you felt you needed, in parenting, in being a father, you have the chance to parent yourself, to realize that everything you lack, you think you lack, exists within you right now, and that you can provide it to yourself by providing it for someone else. Literally the description of what we talk about when giving is receiving. I have the pleasure of experiencing it firsthand, to give unconditional love to this son, Tobias, allows me to love the part of myself that wasn't honored and supported by my parents. And in my doing it, I heal myself. It is not a coincidence that in this journey I have become closer to my father than I have ever been before. And it is not a coincidence that for the first time in my life, he said to me, I realized I treated you different than I treated every other kid in our family. And he apologized for it. That kind of healing comes from giving, from my stepping up to be a parent and understanding what that takes and what that can be. And it's available for each and every one of us when we let go of what it's supposed to look like and step into what it could be. Fatherhood is something that we all have within us. No matter your age, no matter your gender, no matter your station in life, fatherhood is sacred service. It is holy and whole. It is stepping into the wholeness of who you are and what you're here to do and be. So today is Father's Day. And I look around this room and imagine you all out there, like there's any out there, knowing that every father I see sitting here has unlimited potential inside of them. And the gift of parenting is something that we can all employ as our divine power, as a holy, holy moment. Let's take that to our time of meditation.